Nothing. Dick.
Hello.
Hi.
Are we fucking on?
Wow. This 5 Alive is really good.
Is it good? Oh, yeah.
We're on as long as your
Blood
mic's
Brothers
on.
Brewing in
Yeah.
Toronto, having fucking produced another excellent iteration of Paradise Lost, their fucking trademark sour there, I guess. Clocking in at a fine 6.9% alcohol. Sneaks up on you because it tastes exactly
what
like
the fuck?
fruit juice.
I just poured this, and
Styled
I've been
after
sipping
the-
on it. It tastes very fruity. It tastes like
Remember
5
that shit
Alive.
from
from
your lunches as a child? I mean,
You know, but 6.9, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it is fucked up. It is something. It's quite enjoyable. I mean, I always like fruit beer, so pleased to have tried it.
Sure did.
It's a bit much like fucking citrus-wise. I don't know. You can have too many because your stomach would literally
No,
fucking
I
turn
couldn't.
inside out.
I'm already sensitive to this shit as it is.
Yeah.
I probably could only have one.
These are also quite good. The fucking
Maybe 2, but then
strawberry rhubarb sours here. Yeah,
Mm.
2 maybe is the max. You're absolutely right. But that would be like a liter of fucking
Yeah.
lime juice practically in your stomach. So
indigestion
bit much,
creeps
yeah.
up easily on me
Yeah.
for that shit.
you could fucking try one of these too. It's also fantastic, which is strawberry rhubarb. It's a much more hospitable combo of fruit in a sour. That also
Yeah.
goes down really easy, boy. Oh, I tell you that. Fucking
That's fucking awesome.
yeah. And this one's pretty good too. The fucking lemonade, pink lemonade
Oh, I do like
IPA,
that one, yeah.
sour IPA from Nickelbrook. It's got fucking pink guava puree as well as some fucking, I think, lemon rind. It's pretty
I have
good.
to say lately, man,
Yeah.
especially even actually I was gonna say with the sours especially, even with the IPAs, most beers that I've had lately I've significantly enjoyed more in poured in a glass
Yeah.
than in the can.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Makes sense. I guess it fucking breathes. All the taste can fucking.
Like, I don't know what it is. Man.
I think another
that does make sense. It's like these sour flavors, especially though. For me, like I don't like super citrusy stuff, but when you pour it and it, like you said, it seems like it allows it to breathe. sort of takes it down a notch.
It's another
Almost to the point,
consideration.
like, I like it so much better that way.
I think you're right for sure.
Yeah.
It also, like, you know, destabilizes all of the content, so they're not like
Yeah.
layered. By the end, you only taste one thing, and at the top, you only taste the thinnest ingredient, right? So
Right.
it's nice to pour
It's
it.
good. It's good.
Yeah, but fuck all that aside, fucking our you know, ritual complications of alcoholism here.
Right.
Attempt to lend some legitimacy to our habit. Fucking.
It is legitimate.
Yeah, it is pretty legitimate. All that aside, fucking evening and welcome once again to Gaming Under the Influence. I'm Mike here with Alex. We're coming to you guys from fucking Undisclosed location on green screen. Not actually together. It's all an illusion. To talk to you fuckers once again about video games. And, shit, it's good to be here. Tuesday.
It
Fucking freeform.
certainly is.
It's obviously more of a low-key fucking episode than it has been recently in the past. No crazy topics fucking that haven't inflamed our fucking...
Yeah, I guess we're not like amped up at a level fucking,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
100, ready to scream at the journals for pissing us off or some shit like that.
I guess not.
But
But it's better to be fucking excited about something actually, like...
it is better, and I think
at least academically interested.
yeah. I mean, fuck. It seems like a really good time. Like there is a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
We expressed that the other
Without
week, right?
sounding
That
like shills. Like there's, I mean, E3 just ended. There, how can you not
Yeah.
be excited about it?
remember we were talking about how fucking, you know, game development East and West fucking focuses on the one hand on totally imminent metrics in the West, such that fucking all you really get is like a commoditized fucking replication of those things that you can fucking render imminent to the market or to fucking, you know, your own subjective experience of the thing. But we don't really have any kind of concern for the fucking game in itself. And I think that's why, like in JRPGs, you know, you're fucking liable to encounter such things as like fucking whole doctrines of how the universe works and stuff like that. Like extreme care put into fucking what's on the other side of the representation and not merely some fucking toy, you know? And we laid out that fucking distinction and said that there's lots of reason to be excited because there are a lot of good games being made, you know, that suit this description.
Most
semiotic.
Japanese ones, like we've said all the time, but
that's right, they are Japanese games. Yeah, but you know, they would be semiotic representational games, not toys or instruments. We talked a lot about that. I think it was just a week ago, and on that fucking basis, you know, today we got a couple of games we'd like to talk about that I think fucking are super interesting. They fall right into what the fucking niche we've kind of set for ourselves. You know, having grown bored of by and large video games as a category, I guess. Like I'm talking a lot lately about how I need to put aside this, you know, pursuit of playing everything. Like nobody reads all books, nobody fucking watches all movies or television shows or any other thing. Like the idea that just because it's in the medium that you should fucking involve yourself with it, like it's been a source of like fucking intellectual constipation for me. You know what I mean? You can't really...
Yeah, it's really hit home specifically for me, like because of Ratchet and Clank specifically, because I fully intended on you know picking it up, playing it day one, and
me too. I did, yeah. I installed it right when it arrived.
Yeah, I literally installed it like that Friday, and I still haven't jumped in. And most notably was Final Fantasy VII Remake DLC came out like the day before, which totally took me like I jumped into that right away, obviously, right?
Yep.
And I even finished it and still haven't gotten into Ratchet and Clank. So I don't know.
It's
I've
quite
also been
strange.
playing It Takes Two.
Yeah.
Which is wild, but that's another totally
you mentioned
different,
that. That's nice.
Different story. We'll get into one day maybe. But do you remember where this interview was that?
If you actually go on our Twitter.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was fucking retweeted, I think.
Twitter.
Today at some point. If you just go to the main, just down a bit. Down.
Down.
There you go. Up a bit.
Bam. Here we go.
I think Square Enix translated it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Holy shit. Yeah, this is kind of, I guess, the basis of where we're going with...
Yeah, you know how everybody was bitching about the way they look and stuff like that? Like, the
Yeah.
whole point he says is that they're from a different fucking universe. They don't belong here, right?
Yeah.
They're strangers
that's
in the
right.
universe, you know?
Strangers of
I read
Paradise.
a terrible article today. I'm not even... Somebody complaining about how the game doesn't pursue the same social themes they perceived that it did before. Complaining exactly about the design of the characters and how they look like, I don't know, some pejorative fucking description of... Like, I don't really understand what's wrong with them. It's like when Dante fucking from the Ninja Theory DMC was universally detested and I couldn't figure
Honestly,
out why.
I didn't like him because... Not because he was different from Dante. To me, he looked like they modeled him after like Justin Bieber, who was like super popular
Sure,
at the
fair
time,
enough.
and I was
Maybe
kind
they
of
did.
like, that's really like lame.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, that obviously wasn't the actual problem that people had. But that was because this isn't Dante, and it's like, well,
Yeah, I
what
don't
is
know.
Dante anyway? Like, come on,
Yeah.
you know.
It just seems like people
then
have made up
at
their
the end
mind
of the
about
day-
the thing that.
They made that game. Yeah, they did make up their. They made that game, and then they went back and now they're still making DMC. Like, shut the fuck up. Are you gonna complain that they're, you know? It's just. Ugh. I feel like Devil May Cry. There's a whole other game you can explore that's totally unrelated, and if you don't like it, then fuck off. I don't know. I would never complain because that's like us complaining about. Well, this isn't Final Fantasy. Like, ugh.
Yeah, I don't think that
you
makes
know?
much sense.
I don't care about any of
I mean,
that. Make
that's-
something fucking good and.
Yeah.
We'll fucking play it, right?
It's strange that like fucking that's what has come forward as
Yeah, fandom is weird though. That's
people's
strictly-
grievances about this have so far
Yeah.
focused on the appearance of the characters. And
It's like a slight to them, right? You know,
strange,
I
I don't know.
love Dante. I don't fucking give a shit about Dante.
similarly here how these characters look the way they do, but it's interesting that we learned in this interview that that's because they're fucking from another universe and they're supposed to look that way, and you can change their clothes anyways. It being a fucking
Yeah, because it's an RPG with fucking
a
gear,
Team Ninja
right?
one, right?
Yeah,
how you
exactly.
can usually change the appearance with the gear that you put
You
on.
probably
So
won't even see them most of the time unless there's no helmets or I don't know. Whatever. None of that shit matters.
yeah, I think it's a bit of a fucking aside, and I think like the cool thing
Yeah.
about this game in any case, like fucking. Really, like, it's not even worth addressing any of the fucking stuff people say about it. I'm sure it's going to sell well and succeed critically.
I would imagine.
It's fucking a Team Ninja game that's being fucking, I guess, creatively fucking designed by the Final Fantasy
By the
team.
Final Fantasy dudes.
Including Tetsuya Nomura and fucking, what's the guy's name? Nojima? The guy who
this one?
writes all of the games? No. There's another guy. They mentioned him, but he's not here in this interview. He's been writing all of the games too, along with this guy. There's probably most of the core team involved in fucking making the Final Fantasies.
I bet.
And it's gonna be fucking pretty cool in
I
that
think it's
respect,
gonna be
man.
sick,
Like,
yeah.
I always like the fucking concept of, and Platinum has done these kind of collaborations before, fucking to varying degrees of success, of course. But it's always interesting to see a concept expressed in different matter, right? Like, it's the perfect kind of collaboration in my mind because you have people who are technicians and fucking craftsmen primarily, and they often outsource like the conceptual work to other people, or they make work for other people's concepts, right? Like,
Right.
this is a good relationship to my mind. It's exactly the kind of thing I'd want to see, right? Like, I really like the Souls-like gameplay, and Team Ninja's fucking variant of it is cool too, and more complex than the fucking From Software variant, right? Like,
Yeah, they're gonna have whatever, technological fucking back end shit is needed to make this game, work competently, right? That's
I
like
guess
they're
so.
a trusted dev, right? They made Neo 2, right? They fucking
it's interesting
So-
then, like, on the one hand that you have this fucking new relationship of form and matter, insofar as, we got these guys with their idea, and fucking it's drawn from all of these weird places that do and do not have to do with Final Fantasy. You got these fucking guys from Team Ninja, fresh off of Neo 2, which was an excellent game.
yeah.
Fucking putting those exact systems to work for the fucking concepts designed by the Square Enix bros at Final Fantasy, right? Like, so that's a great combination because that's exactly how I would fucking like to see something like this unfold. Insofar as all games are collaborative, right? Like, you have fucking people who are exactly good at what they should be doing in this
Yeah.
relationship.
It seems like
Yeah.
a perfectly like harmonious fucking whatever the word is that this should work, right? This
seems
should
to me
be
like, yeah,
a
like-
fucking natural fucking
I think so. There's all kinds of like interesting collaborations in history that you could fucking probably ramble about that remind us everybody. It's not even
some that are probably way more important than
yeah,
this,
probably, but
it's
like,
important to
oh, this is probably fucking another instance of the same kind of thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is like almost fucking the way that people should collaborate in artistic capacities,
yeah.
where there needs to be collaboration, or it's like
Right.
fucking one guy who previously only did a certain kind of thing, fucking learning a new skill and fucking expressing his idea in that manner, or in a new medium even. You know what I mean? It would be like fucking Kojima making a movie or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm interested in those kind of relationships. The way that fucking a form can transgress the matter you usually find it in and fucking, arise in a new place, and vice versa. How fucking new kind of matter can make possible a form that fucking the guy probably couldn't have communicated before, right? So a game like this, and they're revisiting Final Fantasy 1 of all fucking things for the motifs.
Seems
quote
kind of
unquote,
out of left field. Yeah, like FF1.
and the Warriors of Light and all that shit.
But it's cool that they'll go back to something that came out in like 1987, dude. That's almost ancient history at this point. And
It
like,
is. I don't think
just
Nomura was even
pull
alive.
from that,
Fucking-
right? Yeah, like what the fuck? I think he
Or
was
if he
alive,
was,
but
yeah,
he was,
it's not working on it, bro. I tell you that much, right?
Yeah, like that's fucking, you know, that's a deep
We
cut
definitely
that
weren't
they're no, we weren't alive for sure. A couple years after that we were, but and then we were just pissing and shitting ourselves, so no
Yeah,
difference
it's,
from today. But anyway,
It's really strange how sometimes these things unfold historically, but
yeah, right. Like,
it is
that's
fucking
crazy.
cool how, I guess again, like the main thing that concerns me here is that there's a fucking conceptual front where people, you know, based on all of their work, the same fucking core team has produced they fucking shat out more well-conceived worlds than most people can ever fucking dream of even experiencing, let alone making themselves. So
kidding me?
I have high confidence in like that side of it, right?
Yeah, if you think about it, over the years, like the Final Fantasy games have been able to put out like interesting fucking, you know.
Largely due to the involvement of these very same fucking folks,
Yeah,
right?
probably.
And
It's crazy. I read a fucking article the other day that fucking said some shit like Final Fantasy died after fucking like 10 or something. And it's like, I was just laughing. I'm like, who the fuck could honestly write this and mean this? That like the game sucked since Enix and Thing merged, you know? Like,
I don't know why though.
Yeah.
Like because what? I wonder.
I don't know.
I think like they're very different, of course, but they all have very
Definitely,
cool
yeah.
ideas, man. They're all excellent fucking
yeah, like,
gestures
it's
of world
hard
building.
to
How
pick
can you
it.
compare?
Like I was playing 12 as recently as yesterday, and it's like
12 is
it's
very cool,
definitely
too.
is a different thing, and that probably turned people off. But
Yeah, it was. But so they were all very different if you think
that's
about it. Right?
exactly yeah, that's it.
Even
too.
mechanically,
Look
that's
at
the
7
other
to
thing.
8, and then 8 to 9. What the fuck?
That's probably one thing that people didn't like after fucking 10. They all started to like progress rapidly in new systemic
Yeah.
directions, right? Systematic directions.
That's true. By 14 or 15, we get you know, real time combat
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
shit. And like, actually, what was 13 like? 13 was 13 and 12 were still like that hybrid-ish, like
Yeah.
not quite real time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, their
It
systems were
unfolded
like
in real
fucking
time,
were
but it was
closer,
still very
yeah.
menu based, right?
I think like in that sense, 13 was
makes
more
sense.
traditional, even. You know.
yeah, maybe.
Even
Yeah.
though you weren't controlling the party, they did go back to more of a turn-based
Actually, yeah,
fucking
you're kind
format,
of right because you got into like encounters.
It was
where
real
would
time,
bring you
though, so
into
I
the
don't know,
battle.
yeah.
it's so like fuck me,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You know, there's.
I
Just,
really like. I'm just trying to say, what the fuck? How could you? And you know, firstly, like all of these fucking games, they have so much heart. Like you can't
Yeah.
fucking play one of these games and tell me, you know, they to my mind, like, fucking, they don't bear that fucking artificiality and fucking cynicism that fucking worlds in Western games have, where like the guy
Yeah.
sat out and fucking built like a fucking Venn diagram of fucking things he wanted to ram in here before he even had a fucking concept of what's going to be, you know. Here we have fucking the kind of stories I would usually hate if they were told in a Western game, but they're fucking rooted in some fucking ontological concept that makes them fucking...
Yeah, it's kind of like last. Yeah,
like we were talking about Xenoblade, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And Final Fantasy fucking, of course,
Even
every game
Final
has
Fantasy
that.
X, like
Yeah, oh, of course,
how the
yeah.
whole fucking the ending, you know,
Yeah.
becomes like a love story between Yuna and Tidus,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but it's not just that. It's not like you're left with just that. Like the whole.
It's what you might
fucking-
call in a fucking, you know, if it's fucking love, then it's love as a fucking transcendental. It's not like a human emotion, but as like an
Yeah.
aspect of being that even fucking atoms and plants fucking evince when they fucking move or something like that. You know, the tendency towards something else. And it fucking shows that, though it happens in the case of a fucking idiot guy laughing funny and this fucking girl and shit, like, yeah, it's that. But it's also expressive of fucking the way that, you know, their relationship is like the cherry on top of the way that whole fucking thing is occurring cosmically, right? Like, and you even see bajillions of souls after the fucking end of Final Fantasy X. Like,
Yeah.
that Tidus was merely like one of fucking returning to their, you know what I mean?
Liked,
Like, it's always rooted in a broader context. Whereas fucking, I would say Western games, they do the exact opposite. They fucking take something that had a broader context, they rob it of that, and they're like, look at this.
Dude, literally, The
know?
Last of Us Part 2 is a fucking perfect example of that. They took this fucking, like, you know, we have this vision, this world of this post-apocalyptic thing, and they just threw it all away, and they're like, no, we're going to make it about fucking this.
Look, yeah, people keep telling me,
Dude,
like,
it's
I keep
fucked,
reading that
man.
it's like, you know, that
It's fucked.
What is that game about? Like,
It's about
we talked about this a
literally,
year
like,
ago, like, and
human
I still
fucking-
like can't get somebody's clear there.
this. Yeah. That's why I keep saying to you, though, you need to play it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
only I'm being selfish because I want you to play it because I just want to hear you speak about
Yeah.
it. That's all. for me, like, I know you're not gonna enjoy it. I'm not recommending it or anything. This is selfish. I want you to play it because I can't wait to sit here and hear you fucking.
I already though fucking without even playing it.
I
like,
know you already. I know
it's exactly
you,
like Mass Effect. You know, the kind of fucking ontology, the kind of way of looking at the world.
And I just need you to see how bad it is.
And you know
how blatantly like
the people who make these fucking games go out and fucking talk about their own intentions, and I'm sure they can't be perfectly honest to those intentions because they're really, really stupid and thoughtless ones.
Yeah, fair enough.
But at the same time, like, you know, what could this be about, man? It's just about fucking somebody's emotional trajectory, experiencing trauma. Like, well, what does that mean? I watched a video of a fucking
human nature
of a fucking some kind of fucking, I don't know, some kind of cow in a hot place, you know, with big horns, and it fucking being chased by Komodo dragons, like a pack of them, and it got away, but they were just like waddling along behind it for a long time, and they bit it once, twice, and it fucking just started to like get weak, and it fell in some fucking pool of water, and they just waited around, and then they started fucking eating it, ripping it apart. It's like, okay, what of the circle of violence?
Yeah.
What of it?
Yeah,
And it sucks. Like, okay. Are you trying to tell me like being a finite thing involves
people end up dying?
Involves the transnaturality of being
dying.
such that like if you're finite, no matter what, you're gonna fucking 10 beyond yourself. It's gonna suck and fucking probably you're gonna have some involvement in it for a cause of some sort,
dude.
Like, what is
honestly though? We're even going deeper than I literally need you to play it because it's like within. Not
watch
even
the
kidding.
fucking like I know
Not
the
even
main
kidding.
fucking you
the
know
first fucking I know
what you're the parts you, I definitely all that's going to be fucking absolutely revolting, but I'm trying to say like is there some salvageable like fucking concept
like,
here, you know?
Okay, for me and I even gave it more of a fair chance after that. Like I wrote it off then, but I kept going. Just, you know, up to about like I said, like maybe 7-8 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, maybe it wasn't enough. I couldn't find anything yet. I don't want to be I don't want to be a fucking say like I didn't play. I played literally 7 hours. So
like, are we really like?
Maybe there are redeeming.
What I'm trying to say, like,
I don't know.
are we really gonna get though? Is this just gonna be some fucking endorsement of like fucking a liberal conception of fucking the way we should behave to each other? Like, you shouldn't fucking be killing each other if fucking stuff goes bad. You should forgive and be diplomatic about it.
It's sad
is that like violence is bad? Is that really the best you got for me, bro?
I don't know. Maybe
it's not bad. Why don't we all just fucking kill ourselves? You got an answer for that, Neil? Like, it's just, again, like, why fucking get into this kind of stuff, you know? It feels to me like when I play a Japanese game where they're not fucking bothering to philosophize, the philosophy is better than when these fucking idiots here, like fucking Neil and Corey, they sit down, they're like, we're gonna make a fucking point, boys, and your point is so fucking insipid and shit. You know,
go in.
You're some fucking self-centered fucking rich bitch.
That the sky is
darts
blue.
At the fucking bro. Dumber than that, bro. At least the sky actually is blue.
The fucking everybody in the California boardroom is like, our paycheck relies on this. Wow, Corey!
Yeah. Corey makes some coy like
he's like
humble brag tweet about it afterwards.
Yeah, and then you go, oh, I've never heard of that game.
Yeah, fuck, what an odious man.
But like people, oh man, I can't even.
Fat rich people annoy the shit out of me. I'm sorry.
God of War 2018. What's that? I've never heard of it. Oh, Corey.
I wish I never heard of it.
You're not excited for Ragnarok?
You know, if there's one thing, honestly, that fucking made me not play Ratchet and Clank the most, it was how fucking happy all the mooks were about it. That immediately made me suspicious.
That's a problem. That is actually a problem.
When you see this fucking ocean of fucking troglodytes,
you know what
celebrating
IGN fucking they're like ex
Brian Altano, that penis face motherfucker.
Current IGN,
you know? Hey guys, this is a great game.
Brian Altano, 40-year-old and
oh my god, he's like, whoa, this is a great one. God, high five. Hey, Ryan McCaffrey's like, look at my haircut, Brian.
Uncharted 3.
Hey, fuck guys. You know what I just realized? At least Brian has a different haircut.
Aww.
Look at that.
He does.
I was just bitching how they all go to the same barber, but he doesn't go to
Brian doesn't go to no fucking
male
barber.
pattern baldness, but
yeah.
Nonetheless, credit where it's due.
Good job, Brian.
You are the most fucking distinguished individual in the video game industry.
The back thing, you know, just like owned up. It's probably the only thing he's ever manned up about.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm going bald.
It's fucking IGN.
Fucking IGN.
I was thinking today, I read an article about fucking how the Toronto Star here, the newspaper in Toronto, It's been bought by somebody and fucking, I don't know, they're pursuing some other kind of agenda, but they're selling it off piece by piece for great profit. And I was thinking to myself, what the fuck? We fucking read for-profit media, bro. Isn't that fucking dumb as shit? You know? And fucking people have the nerve to call something like a Russian state media propaganda? What the fuck? What would you accept? Yeah, sure. Yeah. But can you imagine fucking... It's not sponsored by a state, and therefore it's not propaganda? Because they're what? They're just endorsing a point of view that's not official and therefore not... like, man,
I don't know.
Karen stops thinking at the fucking doormat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're fucking so stupid.
It's
intolerable. Like, I can't make it through the day most of the time.
For-profit media, you're right.
You know?
Like, that, when you think of there's no surprise we see...
Do you even have to say
our
anymore?
favorite fucking, gaming media places that have turned into shit over the fucking years.
Shit. And it's fucking... It sucks when it comes to art, but...
Yeah.
Imagine when it comes to, like, a fucking quote-unquote liberal democracy.
Yeah.
These are the channels of information that determine the course of the...
we sit here and bitch about, like, the video game media, and it sucks, but, like, whatever, it's just video games, right? Because we're just a bunch of idiots fucking playing our fucking shit, right? But, when it's the Toronto Star, there's a fucking problem. Oh, man.
You know, it's something we talked about a lot before, but it's exactly like fucking Western games where there's no longer a relationship between the fucking thing and something signified outwards.
Yeah, it's
and,
how it can incite
it's
a fucking reaction from you almost, right?
Well, I guess in the sense that is the case, yes, but in the sense that fucking the distance between reality and representation is totally gone now. We live in a fucking quote-unquote postmodern age, in the Baudrillardian sense that fucking there's no such thing as a reference beyond our fucking representation anymore. Like, reality is constructed in fucking polls and according to the opinions of experts and on the news media. Like, that is literally, if you're gonna fucking open Ontario, you know who Doug asks? He literally says, what do the numbers say? This is like the seer now, our fucking oracle. You know what I mean? It's fucking literally like an Aztec priest cast, bro.
Oh my God.
Fucking people. And the funniest thing is, their access to the real is more fallible than any fucking priest cast in the history of man. Fucking doddering fucking idiots who are wrong from month to month. And people just seem to forget about that fucking fact and go back in. Dude, people are fucking... anyways, I'm not going to get into that kind of thing. That's too much, but it is truly fucked up. The extent to which, like, we take for granted that there's some fucking people with privileged access to reality making these claims whilst in the same breath, like, denouncing previous cultures whose claims to the exact same thing were probably less dubious than our own. Yeah. It's truly fucking remarkable, but... Yeah, it is fucking games media is exactly the same kind of thing. You got Metacritic there, fucking your corporate employer is going to fucking pay your bonus out according to the opinion of these fucking idiots?
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
Scary, man.
Where did these guys come from?
Shit, yeah.
Where did these guys come from? Like, what are your qualifications? The fucking...
That's
the
true.
Muppet trope that we all fucking know and love. Like, think of all of them,
If you're going to put, something like that was
what are your theories? Like, what do you
fucking
think?
Employees' bonuses are dependent on you scoring a 90 on Metacritic. And you go into all these reviews, and it's like we've been seeing this shit for years.
Yeah,
and exactly to what you said, what qualifies you to fucking rate this thing, right? And it's usually anyway. Well, there's no qualification.
I guess whatever the qualification would be, the fact that you're fucking a mercenary or prostitutional fucking profit-seeking fucking... you're not there to describe the good. You're there to fucking describe a perspective or to fucking seek profit. Like, approximate or remote fucking last end, I suppose, both are equally shite, and it's fucking terrible, buddy.
Cyberpunk is going back on the PS Store.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
And apparently they're recommending you don't play it, though, on a base PS4.
Fair enough.
It's just so funny, the fucking...
Fair enough.
Squeezing out the last
probably should have done that
the last clicks they can get out of the Cyberpunk debacle before the game just kind of gets forgotten as it is what it is, right?
It's fucking a great game, man. I love Cyberpunk.
I like it so much. I
loved it. Story for another day, though. It's fucking great, though, how in spite of all this stuff, like, in spite of what
all the bullshit.
The same fucking people would tell you that they don't want to see games like this anymore, probably because, that's a fucking profitable opinion to have, but
definitely.
I think coming out of fucking another part of the world, where they probably have similar fucking... I mean, you see their fucking media, too, praising, like, the corporations that are native to fucking Japan, but... Just mean to say that whatever the fucking orientation is towards corporations, the orientation of the corporations is at least accidentally or materially or coincidentally towards fucking good shit. Whereas here, like, we reduce the entirety of what we're going to make to some kind of fucking thing that we can represent metrically inside the market or our own desire, and it's ruinous, man.
It's
Our games
garbage,
fucking suffer. Our fucking media apparatus fucking destroys the good ones and fucking just extols the most idiotic shit, you know? I wish it were different.
Yep, but unfortunately it's not, so all we can do is push in the direction of what we think is good and what we like.
Yeah, we can
I
talk
guess,
about better
right?
games, and I guess, we totally got sidetracked there.
That's okay.
All right, live and unleashed, right?
That's fucking
It's the
part of the
goal
live
here.
show. Yeah.
Fucking...
Rock on.
On that note, though, we were talking about Final Fantasy, and Team Ninja, and why this game is a fucking... I think, like, you know, compared to fucking the kind of things they do in the West, like Assassin's Creed 57 and fucking Halo 60 and Forza, whatever.
Yeah.
The cool thing about a game like this is that they managed to rely on the fucking, like, Nomura there says, the fucking motif of Final Fantasy, which in this sense is a fucking aesthetic. It's
And Final Fantasy 1, like we
Yeah,
said,
it's-
that's an old
it's not
fucking thing, man.
Yeah, it's not a direct
You know?
fucking. It's not continuing the story. It's not based on anything except fucking aspectually, right? Like appropriating fucking aesthetic matter, I guess I would say, for a new project, which is how you should continue something. You retain that element of brand recognition that no doubt pleases the people who are paying for the fucking thing.
Yeah, they
But you
even
don't have
said
to-
it in the interview.
Yeah,
They
that's
didn't
right,
want to
yeah.
rely on that. They didn't want to have the
Yeah.
name on the. But anyway, sorry.
No, that's exactly it. But they don't fucking then like they don't make you like, you know, they do in the West, like they don't fucking
Shove Halo 16
Yeah.
down your throat. Halo
You're not playing
Infinite,
the same game,
Halo
like,
Forever.
a clone
Halo
of the
fucking
same one. Why?
9000.
Why would you do that though? You know, it's so
Yeah,
exasperating,
yeah.
right? Like,
It's, I don't know. Like they've shown us that you can keep creating in the same series, in the same, and you know, not have everything doesn't have to be a direct sequel. It doesn't have to be a, you know.
Yeah.
It can be spin-offs, but they don't have to be. The problem is when you say we're creating a spin-off, you immediately kind of sort of, you know, put your guard up, and it's like, it's a spin-off. It's not gonna, like, they don't go in with that, you know,
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, it's gonna be a spin-off. Like, no one's saying, oh, this is a game, Final Fantasy Origin, whatever, it's gonna be, it's a spin-off from, no, because it's not. It's a fucking game, and it just takes place, you know. It's not like a mainline Final Fantasy game, but what the fuck is a mainline Final Fantasy game? Well, they're making 16, and I guess that'll be it, but whatever, right? What does that mean? It means nothing. It's just,
yeah, I mean, again,
know?
it's a set of motifs, some common themes,
Yeah.
like maybe an underlying fucking metaphysic or view of how the universe is in broad strokes between
Sure.
games you could compare, but that would be a
well, what the fuck
tenuous
for? Yeah,
comparison,
like,
right?
why?
Like, I don't even know if you can do that. It probably might not be true, right? Maybe they have
Yeah.
different concepts because different people wrote and conceived them, but
True.
I I like Final Fantasy for that reason. It's like an approach. It's not so much
Yeah.
a game. It's like a doctrine for game making. You know what I mean?
I'll never forget when I first heard of the first Final Fantasy game I ever heard of, which was actually 7, which is maybe why I love it so much. I remember someone, you know, an older kid I grew up with was like, yeah, we're going to play this game, Final Fantasy 7. I'm like, 7? I'm like, what about 1 to 6? Like, what do you mean 7? He's like, none of that shit matters. This is the 7th one, but, like, they're all different. And I'm like, okay, so we played
Yeah.
7? And that was cool as fuck, right? That was, like, sick. You know? And then I, looking into the history, say, okay, 1 to 6, but they're all just different things.
Yeah.
And then I didn't, you know, connect it at the time because I was still a young kid and realized, like, where things are being made and what is what, right? Who the fuck knows? But when you start to realize that, you know, this is what the Japanese have been doing for the last fucking 30 years, and then you see what we're doing on this side of the world, and it's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, I think
Come
so.
on. You know?
I think, like, in the sense that they've retained similar
such
fucking
fucking
gameplay
weeaboos.
mechanisms at places like Square, and you see Dragon Quest 11 fucking coming out, or even games like Final Fantasy 15, like fucking very inspired by the earliest ones,
Yeah.
despite the radical transformation of the mechanics. Like in the West, you'll fucking see sometimes things that have technologically progressed, fucking, or are mechanically departed so far from their origins. Like FPSs have come so far,
Yeah.
You know?
Over the years, they have, for sure.
but conceptually they're fucking so homogenous compared to where games that still retain very homogenous matter have become
Very distinct.
radically
and different.
distinct
Yeah.
conceptually.
Yeah, sure. Like look at Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. Let's say like
Yeah.
they are very similar, but so very different. Like I played a ton of Dragon Quest 11, and it's a fucking Japanese turn-based RPG set in fantasy worlds. Exactly, it sounds exactly on paper like Final Fantasy, but
But its
it
whole
has
design philosophy
such
is
a different
different, yeah.
flavor. Yeah, like it's incredible. incredible, right?
Yeah. It's like a different fucking book written in the same language as Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
More than a game that's,
Yeah. It's,
That's something that I feel like fucking we can, it's like we talked about the other day, how like we treat games like because they're a fucking shared matter as though we have to play all games, as though like the fact that something's made with the same matter, it conveys a common form. But I don't think that's necessarily the case there, and it's definitely not the case here, These games maybe have similar JRPG mechanics, but like the way they fucking express concepts is radically different, right? Like same with Souls-like games, Neo, Souls, fucking Sekiro, Bloodborne, The Surge, Salt and Sanctuary, all these like fucking they have like in the same kind of thing as Final Fantasy. They have like similar fucking metaphysical undertones. The vision of being is roughly the same, the mechanics are the same, but the world is very different, right? Like the actual specific skin given to the thing. Yeah, radically different.
With small differences to accommodate that, but yeah,
I like all that fucking shit, man. That's a good approach to making games. It's good to fucking find a language that is good for communicating and then work on your concept. We talked about this last year when Ghost of Tsushima came out because it made good use of genre grammar, we called it at the time, and I think that still stands, right? Like it's fucking, if there's mechanics that are good at expressing something, that's like refined, well worked out language, and you should rely on it and focus on your idea, right?
And if one person knows exactly that, it's fucking Miyazaki. Look how many games now are coming out that have been inspired by, even the point
that
now
guy's
we're talking
probably
about
happy,
Final Fantasy, and they're making a fucking Souls-like FF type game, right? Like, what the fuck, dude?
It's pretty crazy.
Miyazaki is a fucking genius.
Yeah. And I think it's, again, he kind of like, exactly like with Final Fantasy, a Souls-like game oftentimes, not always, has a similar tone and fucking mechanic, but the worlds are very different.
Yeah.
What we call the specific difference of the game on our fucking site there. I like that shit, man. I'm encouraged by this fucking, the prevalence of this. And one other game that I wanted to say a few words about was fucking Scarlet Nexus, which we played the demo of a bit last week. I played the demo of it at home. I really enjoyed it. Coming out this Friday, and it's fucking just like this game, I guess I would say. It seems like a Souls light, It's a fucking Souls-like game in terms of its fucking form of movement, the super circumscriptive gameplay mechanics.
Does it have co-op?
Which?
Scarlet Nexus.
Fuck, I don't know. Or it might be like Astral Chain, just 2 characters involved, but yeah, it's a great game. Based on my experience with the demo, which is about an hour, and hopefully I'm going to get to play it fucking in the next couple of days. I really do enjoy that. I like the aesthetic. I like the fucking weird, like the whole story is about how people evolved like some psionic fucking hormone or gene or something like that, and fucking at the same time this race of mutants called the Others invaded, some terrifying alterity that people have to respond to, with the alterity emerging from themselves. It's some fucking classic tropes and shit, fucking some anime aesthetic, some Souls-like combat, but there is an easy mode. It's not so fucking challenging. It's more like a platinum game practically, right? Yeah, with iframes. So I really fucking like that kind of shit.
Reminds me a lot of Code Vein, but I think that's mostly like, what do you call it? Just visually, sort of aesthetically, that's a Japanese game made in that same vein. But
it does look like Code Vein. Yeah, it's like an anime fucking a cell shaded fucking game. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Weren't we reading something about this just the other day, Scarlet Nexus?
Maybe
some kind of interview or something. Let me see real quick. I think that would be worth fucking.
Scarlet Nexus. Wow. This game comes out this week, right?
Yes.
Scarlet Nexus. Fuck, we really fucking play a lot of weird shit. Like, I probably wouldn't even heard of this game if it wasn't for you, or maybe us.
Oh shit! You know where I saw it? It was on the Xbox showcase there. Remember the guy was talking?
Oh, really? How come it says release date June 15th?
I don't know why. I'm not sure.
That's not right. Oh, here it says June 25th. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
This fucking shit's always wrong.
Maybe that's in.
Yeah, probably somewhere else.
Specific
in the world.
territory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anime adaptation. Cool.
Wow. Scarlet Nexus. This is Bandai Namco. They do some cool shit.
They do lots and lots of cool shit.
Right?
Oh yeah. Very good stuff. So that's another fucking interesting one. I can't really offer you anything more information than that. Like, oh, there are two characters that play pretty differently. Like the female character has like a fucking mid-range attack where she swings like these psychic like fucking tendrils around, and the male character uses a sword.
Yeah.
And they have these like buffs that have timing that you can like activate that give you like different fucking shit. Like, you know, you get invisibility and you can run away from enemies, or you can fucking put fire on your sword or that whatever.
Okay.
It's pretty fucking sick, man. Check out Scarlet Nexus. Again, I hope to fucking have more to say about it in the next couple of days, but I'm encouraged by the way you turn on these games, and they draw on not only the fucking, you know, Souls-like matter that I fucking like and enjoy,
Definitely.
you know, seeing concepts expressed in, but they draw on like tropes from fucking media that I like from weird fiction and strange like horror anime, and this fucking others with a big O for the enemies, like explicitly dealing with this like fucking concept of alterity that I like to talk about on the site there. Fucking, you know, it's,
I guess that's our fucking homework to bring to you for the next
yeah, I'm gonna fucking go and play some.
we're gonna play
fucking
Scarlet Nexus. Try and smash the
Japanese
boss
Souls-like. Yeah.
Oh, and FF
that
Origins, because I'm stuck there right now.
The 26th is the last day to play
And
that. So.
if I have any time, maybe I'll get to Ratchet and Clank, but I probably will end up playing the FF7 Remake Integrate DLC again on hard, because it's so short. I'm just gonna do it again on hard.
Why not, man? Go nuts.
Get some of the trophies, and I don't know what else. I think Mass Effect I'm starting to slip away from, which is, I don't want to, but
yeah,
we'll see.
I know, me neither. I want to finish that, but it's fucking.
There's just too much. We gotta quit
Something
our
broke
job.
inside of me. I feel like I don't care that much anymore. You know.
Yeah.
About that one.
There's too much going on.
It feels disingenuous to me now.
Yeah, I hear ya. Yeah. Fucking Mass Effect. Okay, we'll stick with our weeaboo corner. We're such weebs. Fuck, we're fucking coming to terms with me being a fucking weeaboo.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it too, honestly.
Yeah, both these games are pretty funny looking fucking weeb games. Hey, you got these like well-shaven fucking white guys.
Yeah.
In a Japanese game.
It's so weird, yeah. They're like the fucking main characters, like some shady fucking.
Yeah, Slim Shady, exactly. Yeah.
You know, like.
Nice, yeah. I
don't give a fuck what he looks like.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't care either, though, honestly.
Are you kidding me?
Nomura says there in the interview, the purpose of this fucking design was to show that they're from a different universe. Obviously,
yeah.
They're not, you know.
Needless to say, there will probably be some kind of surprise or twist or something going on with the story, right? Somebody
I think so.
Some fucking noise outside. We gotta go kick some ass.
There's a lot of idiots around here. That's the problem.
That is a problem.
They're loud. They yell at people in the parking lot. Drive cars with crappy mufflers.
Yeah.
I think it makes them cool.
Drill a hole in your exhaust. That'll make it loud.
Yeah. Well, fuck. I don't really have anything else to add to either of these fucking issues because that's the extent of my knowledge on these games. I'm excited for the concept and fucking my brief experience with their mechanics via the demos.
Yeah, same.
I'm excited for the fucking knowledge I have of the creative talent behind the games. You know, given the history of the Square Enix and Team Ninja collab team and fucking what we've seen from the devs of Scarlet Nexus there during the Xbox thing.
So, yeah, Scarlet Nexus is coming out, like we said, this week, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, the Final Fantasy Origins game is next year. Shit. But at least we have Scarlet Nexus to tie us over for now and see how that goes, right? Yeah. And whatever else comes out for the rest of the year.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Well, fuck, we can leave it at that, I guess, if you're down.
I think so.
Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. We fucking love you, and we'll be back on Saturday for a full episode.
Fuck yeah.
Take care.